Welcome to Blue Health Daily.
If you're new to weight loss, you are standing at the most dangerous point of the entire journey. Not because it's hard, but because this is where most people make the mistake that keeps them stuck for years. Right now, you're probably thinking you need more discipline, a better diet, a stricter routine. Maybe you think you just need to try harder this time. But what if I told you the reason most beginners fail has nothing to do with effort? What if the real problem is that almost everyone starts in the wrong place? In this video, I'm going to show you exactly where to begin if you want fat loss that actually lasts, without extreme diets, without killing yourself in a gym, and without burning out in 3 weeks. If I had to start over from zero, this is exactly what I would do. When most people decide to lose weight, they don't start with understanding. They start with emotion. They feel frustrated when they look in the mirror. They feel uncomfortable in their clothes. They feel guilty after eating something bad. And that emotional discomfort pushes them into action. But emotional action leads to extreme decisions. Suddenly it's, I'm cutting carbs. I'm eating 1,200 calories. I'm working out 6 days a week. No more sugar, no more snacks, no more fun. It feels productive. It feels intense. It feels like commitment. And intensity feels powerful. But here's the truth. Intensity is not the same as strategy. Most beginners approach weight loss like a punishment. They think they need to suffer to deserve results. But fat loss is not a test of suffering. It's a test of sustainability. The reason most beginners fail is not because they lack willpower. It's because they create a system they cannot maintain. And when the system collapses, they blame themselves instead of the strategy. There's a psychological trap at the beginning of every weight loss journey. It's the all or nothing mindset. You either eat perfectly or you've failed. You either train intensely or it doesn't count. You either lose weight fast or it's not working. This mindset creates pressure, and pressure creates rebellion. Your brain does not like extreme restriction. When you suddenly remove foods you enjoy, slash your calories, and increase your training volume, your brain interprets that as a threat, and biology kicks in, hunger increases, cravings intensify, energy drops, mood shifts, not because you're weak, because your body is designed to survive. If weight loss feels like a war against yourself, you will eventually lose that war. So before we talk about what to do, we need to reset how you think about this process. Before you download another diet plan, before you cut your calories in half, before you start running every morning, you need to understand the one principle that controls all fat loss. Because if you don't understand this, you will always feel confused about why things are or aren't working. Let's simplify this completely. Your body runs on energy. Energy comes from food. Energy is measured in calories. Your body also burns energy every day just to stay alive. Even if you lay in bed all day, you would still burn calories to power your organs, your brain, your heartbeat, and your breathing. On top of that, you burn additional calories through movement, digestion, exercise, and daily activity. If you eat more energy than you burn, your body stores the excess as fat. If you burn more energy than you eat, your body must use stored energy, including body fat, to make up the difference. This is called a calorie deficit. Every diet that works, keto, low carb, intermittent fasting, low fat, works because it creates a calorie deficit, not because it's magical, not because carbs are evil, not because eating after 6 p.m. is fattening. It works because total energy intake becomes lower than total energy expenditure. But here's where beginners sabotage themselves. They think if a small deficit works, then a massive deficit must work faster. Technically, yes, practically, no. Because when the deficit is too aggressive, your body adapts. Hunger hormones like ghrelin increase, satiety hormones decrease, Your spontaneous movement drops. You feel tired. Your training performance declines. And eventually, the pressure becomes too much. You binge, you quit, or you slowly drift back to old habits, not because you lack discipline, but because the deficit was unsustainable. If I were brand new to weight loss today, I would not start by dieting. I would start by observing. For the first 7 days, I would change nothing. I would track everything I eat and drink, not to restrict, not to judge, just to understand. Because you cannot control what you do not measure. Most beginners underestimate how much they eat. Liquid calories count, small snacks count, cooking oils count, mindless bites count. Awareness creates clarity. Once I know my baseline intake, I would reduce it slightly, not dramatically, maybe 300 to 400 calories per day. That creates a moderate deficit, enough to produce fat loss without triggering extreme hunger. This is not flashy, it is not dramatic, but it is effective. But calories alone are not enough because if you cut calories the wrong way, you might lose muscle instead of fat. And losing muscle makes everything harder long term. When you're in a calorie deficit, your body is looking for energy. If you do not provide enough protein, your body may break down muscle tissue along with fat. Muscle is metabolically active. It helps maintain your resting energy expenditure. The more muscle you preserve, the easier it is to maintain weight loss later. Protein also increases satiety. It keeps you fuller for longer compared to fats and carbohydrates, and it has a higher thermic effect, meaning your body burns slightly more calories digesting it. If I were starting over, I would aim for approximately zero point 0.7 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. I would structure meals around protein first. Instead of asking, what do I feel like eating? I would ask, where is the protein in this meal? This single adjustment makes fat loss significantly easier. Most beginners think fat loss begins with extreme workouts. It doesn't. It begins with movement. There's something called non exercise activity thermogenesis, or NEAT. This includes walking, standing, cleaning, fidgeting, and daily tasks. For someone who walks 3,000 steps per day, increasing to 8 or 10,000 can dramatically increase daily calorie burn without crushing recovery. And here's the important part: walking does not spike hunger the way intense cardio often does. If I were starting from scratch, I would focus on hitting a daily step target before worrying about high intensity workouts. Consistency beats intensity every time. Later, I would add strength training 2 or 3 times per week, not to burn fat, but to preserve muscle. Fat loss reveals muscle, strength training builds and maintains it.
Now, here's the part that causes most beginners to quit, even when they're doing everything right. The scale doesn't move. And if you don't understand why that happens, you will panic and sabotage your own progress.
The scale measures total body weight. That includes fat, muscle, water, glycogen, and even the food sitting in your digestive system. When you begin a calorie deficit, your body's water balance fluctuates. Carbohydrate intake affects glycogen storage, and glycogen binds water. Sodium affects water retention. Stress increases cortisol, which can influence fluid balance. Sleep impacts recovery and inflammation. You can lose fat for 2 weeks straight and see almost no change on the scale because water masks the loss. Beginners interpret this as failure. They cut calories further, they increase cardio, they lose patience. Instead of focusing on daily scale changes, look at weekly averages. Measure your waist. Take progress photos. Notice how your clothes fit. Fat loss is not linear, it happens in trends. Patience is not optional, it is required. If you are starting today, this is your blueprint. Track your intake. Create a moderate calorie deficit. Prioritize protein. Increase daily steps. Strength train a few times per week. Sleep consistently. No detoxes. No extreme fasting. No cutting entire food groups without medical reason. Simple does not mean ineffective. Simple means repeatable, and repeatable creates results. You're not trying to lose weight fast. You're trying to become someone who understands their body, someone who knows how energy balance works, someone who can adjust intake without panic, someone who values consistency over intensity. The people who succeed long term are not more motivated than you. They just stopped looking for shortcuts. They stopped restarting every Monday. They built systems instead of chasing motivation.
If you are new to weight loss, this is your advantage. You don't need to unlearn years of complicated dieting. You can start correctly from day one. And you will not just lose weight, you will gain control. And once you gain control, you will never have to start over again. In the next video, I'm going to break down exactly how to calculate your calorie needs step by step, so you can stop guessing and start progressing with clarity. Because guessing is what keeps beginners stuck. And now you know where to start.